Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to A Million and One Stories. I'm back again with my co-hosts, Stacy and Sierra, and today we have a special guest. Thank you so much, Akoy Amos, for joining us today. So I know we've been MIA for a little while, but that's only due to the changes, a new year, and all the great things that has been happening in our lives lately. But we are back stronger than ever. So with that being said, today we want to talk about, you know, life happened to us all, right?
Yes.
Um, and sometimes when life happened, there's things that we have to like wonder, are these things happening because of things that we have done, or is it something that has happened because of things that other people are doing to us? Regardless of the situation, we still have to be grateful because it could be a learning process or just a detour or a decor. So with that, I just want to say I had um, a short story to tell. So a while back, I remember dating, not dating, my apologies. I remember going out with friends, having fun, and then I met a young man. And this young man was telling me things like, hey, I would like to get to know you. You seem like a really cool person. And I was like, oh my gosh, he sounds so nice and so sweet. But then eventually, it seemed a lot more like we were just always talking about how he wants to get to know me, but it was never moving forward. It was always getting stuck in this area that was so gray, and it became so gray that it became black. And I was like, okay, sir, we're not moving. There's nothing going on. So can you please tell me, I mean, are you trying to be friends only? Are we trying to get to know each other a little deeper? So I was a little confused. So Akoye,
Yes.
I brought you here today because I did follow your podcast, and I was like, huh, that's interesting that you talked about how to, vent an individual, vent a man. And I know that can also happen from a man to a woman and a woman to a man. So I'm very mindful of that.
Yes.
But I just would like to understand from your expertise, um, what would you believe that is the case?
Yeah. What you explained is, in my honest opinion, is a classic example of how men can masquerade themselves and have come to you in such a kind and respectful and great way, and we can present ourselves in an angelic way, like we're angels and we're just this great guy. But what you have to understand is there's always a front end and there's always a back end to everything that comes out of a man's mouth, because you have to understand that men we are very cunning individuals, and so a lot of moves that we make have already been predetermined, calculated up here. So in other words, if I suggested to a lady to on the first date, hey, let's go to a movie. See, I've already calculated in my mind that, okay, she agreed to go out on this date because she likes me. You know, she's a very attractive lady. She can pretty much have any man she wants, but she agreed to go out on this date with me. So I'll choose a place such as a movie because, number one, it's a calculated decision.
Right.
It's a dark place. We can be intimate. Well, not intimate, but we can be close. I can put my arm around her. If I know that she's interested in me, maybe I can rub her arm. See, it's the small things that men we do as calculated moves, and that's the front end. And then the back end is eventually to either get you back to our place, your place, hotel, motel. That's the back end. Now, I'm not saying that's your situation, but usually, when you're dealing with men, again, you have to understand, ladies, in the beginning of the relationship, all the leverage is on your side. And one of the things that we try and do as men is we try and slowly get that leverage away from you, and we try and pull it on our side. So when with him vanishing, kind of ducking out, usually that's a telltale sign that a man has again. I don't know your situation, but from a man's perspective, usually when that happens, a man has had sex with the individual, and beforehand he was already dealing with maybe one or two ladies, and had sex with this person just to have sex, and then eventually he may go back to the person. Well, let me rephrase that: not go back, but just put this person who he just met have a sexual twist with her, and then just continue to see the person who he was already seeing. So again, I'm not saying that's what happened to you,
Right,
but
right,
usually what you're explaining is that's what happens. Usually when men when we kind of push back, and you say, well, what am I? Am I in the friend zone or what? But usually that happens after sex. And so again, I don't know your situation, but that's how it
sure.
usually happens.
Sure, I appreciate that you said that, but I do want to add right there before my ladies also chimed in. We did
Mhm.
not have sex. I
Okay.
felt
Okay.
more so like he was pulling me in having conversation to get to know me
Mhm.
sooner than ever.
Wow.
Um, yes, go ahead, ladies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. Let's say, okay, you said you didn't have any sex. Again, I think that's a clear indication that he was dealing with somebody else. To me, that
Sure.
that that's just my being on this earth 54 years. I'm gonna be totally honest with you, ladies. I am not a saint. I don't claim to be a saint. I have done a lot of dirt. I'm 54 years old. I'm never married. No children. There's a reason behind that, because God knows I have met some very, 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 very good women throughout my life, and I take total responsibility and accountability in saying that I messed it up.
Yeah,
I, I'm not gonna blame anything on them. I can look myself in the mirror and say I messed it up. I messed it up with cheating. I messed it up with running with my boys. I messed it up with neglecting their feelings. I messed it up taking their kindness for weakness. So I messed it up, no doubt about it. And so uh, some of the things that you're saying kind of resonates with some of the things that I've done in the past and a lot of men have done.
Right.
So again, you said you didn't have sex. That's fine, but it sounds like he was already dealing with someone already, and that's why I tell ladies that this cell phone in today's world, with so much social media and so much the dating apps, and you got the dating sites,
yeah,
it's almost like a buffet for men.
Mm-hmm.
Even the most unattractive men will play the numbers game where they know that, okay, if I go on a dating app such as Tinder, if I swipe 100 times, maybe one woman out of that 100.
right,
Even the most unattractive men will take those odds, because he's not going to stop swiping at 100. He's going to swipe at 500. Now he's at 5 women who's who has interest in him. He's not going to stop at 500. He's
right,
going to do it 1,000 times. Now he's up to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's not going to do that one day. So again, we haven't even gotten to the attractive men, the pretty boys, and some of the men who are just genetically gifted with good looks
yeah,
and good body size, things of that nature.
But
Wow.
my question is like, why not just be satisfied? Like, why need all of those 500
Yeah,
clicks? You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, what is it? And it's not just like, I mean, like,
yeah,
is one woman not good enough?
yeah.
Like a
No,
good woman who, really loves you and is not
that's
gonna
my
hurt, not gonna
question.
cheat on you. Like, is that just so hard? Is it so hard to just have that one person?
no, no, no. It is, and I'm just going to say this. Okay, see, all men have the propensity to cheat. Uh, in other words, we have the we have this that can tell us, listen, you got a good wife at home. You got a good girlfriend at home. You got a good significant other at home. Don't do it. Now, thank God for this. But see, a lot of men, when we get that urge to have sex, this rational thinking just goes out the window. And so every man has a penis and he has two testicles. And within those variables, you got that hormone that's called testosterone. And man, that testosterone is flowing in us. And that testosterone, it'll tell us have sex with just multiple women. But the good men, once again, are going to sit back and think, and they're going to say, no, I got something good. I'm satisfied, even though that rage or that drive to try and have sex with someone is still there. For example, pornography. Pornography is a multi-billion dollar industry. Now, 98% of the people who watch pornography are what? Men.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not trying to give men a pass. All I can do is speak for myself, other men, some research that I've done, especially when we're talking about that hormone called testosterone that's in us. It almost makes us into the Incredible Hulk, and sometimes it's like if we can't control our rational thinking, it's like that hormone is telling us have sex with multiple women. Hit on your girlfriend's girlfriend if she could keep a secret. I mean, all those type of things. And so again, if we're not strong enough up here to control that, we're basically going to be like a bull in a china shop. Now, that's why I always say a woman, in my opinion, from a natural standpoint, a lady has the natural ability to get a man to conform to her and commit to her and only want to be with her. But it's a process, though.
That is actually very good that you said that.
Mhm.
And it is a process. I feel like
Yeah,
in reality, everything in life is a process, especially
yeah.
if you want something that's decent and that's concrete and that's long
Right.
lasting, right? But
Right.
my question with that is, how would a man, because as you said, men are driven by testosterone, right? We definitely know that for sure.
Yeah.
But how do you, as a woman who knows your value, knows your worth, how do you feel like, well, I'm not wasting my time
Mhm.
knowing that this will be the perfect individual to create with or
Yeah.
procreate with, or
Okay.
even um, be successful enough to make something happen
Mhm.
with that person? Because you said a woman will know, which is true. We
Yeah.
have the senses,
Yeah.
but we can't force a man to be a man. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? To leave the being a child or a young man to become a man.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna sit around and wait for a man to grow up. That's
Yeah.
God did not give me enough time to to do such a thing. So
That's right.
I'm just saying, like, how would you be able to vent that out?
Okay. That's an excellent question. Okay. Let me just make a quick comment, and then
Yeah,
I'm gonna get to that question.
definitely.
This is what I see, and this is what experience has taught me. In my 54 years on this earth, dealing with women, and again, it's going to tie into what I see in today's dating world. What I see in today's dating world, and what I have experienced with the good women that I have ran across in my life, all share one common theme, and that one common theme is they made things too easy for a man in the beginning stages.
Okay.
Just too doggone easy. See, ladies, you can't make things easy for a man off the bat.
Got it.
You can't do that. You can't. No, 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 no. And so, if you make things easy, as we talked about earlier, men, we have not only a dominant instinct to have, I'm sorry, a natural instinct to have sex. See, we have a natural instinct to dominate as well. Very territorial. Men, we're very territorial. We like to mark our territory. When we meet a woman, we initially think that's mine. That's
Mm.
mine. You know what? Anyway. But the common denominator, I think, in all of these things is women made it too easy for a man. Okay, some women, you're giving men sex, you're giving men money, you're giving men food, you're giving men time, you're giving men your attention, you're sacrificing time away from your job. Some of you are sacrificing time away from your friends. Some of you are sacrificing times away from your significant other, and you're pouring so much into that man, and the man is just taking. He's just
Yeah.
taking. He was like, "Well, you gonna make it that easy? Okay, you mean to tell me, sweetie, you gonna make it that easy? So I'm just gonna take, 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 take." And as a lady, you may be like, well, why am I not getting anything in return? And so that's just me as a man. I just honestly feel that women, you're just making things too easy. I don't know anything about being a lady, but that's just my observation. Because if you make things too easy for a man, there's a good chance you're gonna be in for a long ride.
But my thing is though, like I feel like, how about when the woman finally gets the courage to leave that situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man be all in his feelings like
Yeah,
you did something to him.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And it's like, now that you're doing better,
yeah,
it's like bitter about it. They don't want you doing better. They're mad. And it's like they'll do anything to try and get you back
yeah.
when really it's like a trap. You know it's a trap.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know
ma'am.
what I mean? So it's like, dang, like, why be evil? Why not just grow up, level up?
Yeah. Again, it's very important to understand that men. I want you ladies to understand one thing. See, men and dogs very similar. The only thing that separates us, men, we have a brain. We can think, we can rational think, solve problems, things of that nature. But if you took that brain away from that a man, our mind, same thing as a dog. Like I said earlier, natural instinct to have sex, natural instinct to dominate, very territorial, and if you ever notice a dog, a male dog and a female dog, if another male dog is coming around, what does that male dog do? Urgh. See, he's sending out a signal to that other male, hey man, back up. Or the dog may raise his tail up and urinate. What is that dog doing? That dog is marking his territory.
Territory. Yeah.
So men, we the same way. I promise you, we the same way, especially that last example that I presented about men, that dog raised his leg up, urinates, marking his territory. See, even though, ladies, even though we may have splitting up, we may have broken apart, you going your way and I go mine, we still think that you belong to us. See, we still think that's my P word. See, we
Mm.
still think all of that. We still think that belongs to us and it doesn't go away. So that's why when you separate from a man, see, a lady may think it's over with, but for a man, that same thing, that instinct to our territory, that's mine, that belongs to me, especially, if we've been intimate with you and all that. See, we can't imagine you doing that with another man. That crushes us. See, when we imagine that the same sexual acts that you and I were doing together, and then I can't get it anymore, and another man is getting the same type of sexual attention and all that good stuff that comes with it, that drives us crazy.
But how do
That's
you
why,
think we feel?
huh?
Right.
I, I'm just
Same thing. We feel
listen.
the same thing. We be so crushed.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're gonna just do that? You
yeah,
know what I mean? We could do the same thing too. And for real, we probably do it better.
yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But we don't, because we're just not like that. I mean, we're just not like that. That's not our nature.
Hold it right there. I didn't mean to cut you off. See, you hit the key word. You said that's not your nature. Bingo. See. Now we're getting somewhere because women, you don't have that testosterone flowing through you. But a man, like I said, remember that analogy that I just talked about when I talked about a dog. If a dog is in the fence and a female dog, that's his. But as soon as that other dog comes to the gate, that dog was gonna run immediately to that gate and say, "Arr! You better back up real quick." See, men, I promise you, we are the same way. When that breakup happens, even though you went your way and he went his way, he's still saying, Sally belongs to me. I don't care who's in the picture. And I'm going to prove Sally belongs to me. I'm going to go back and I'm going to pursue Sally even harder. I'm gonna send her more flowers. I'm gonna give her more candy. I'm gonna text her more. I'm gonna call her more. I'll pop up on her job and get down on my knees and beg Sally, please take me back. Take me back, Sally. It doesn't matter. We will go through those things just because, again, we know another man is in the picture. And then sometimes, ladies, sometimes it's sincere. because sometimes a man, sometimes it takes us falling down and bumping our head, and then we have to realize and say, wow, that lady was really the best lady who was suited for me. And sometimes we pursue you again for that reason as well. So it's not always that he has ulterior motives just to, I know another man's in the picture. Let me try and get her back just because, I can't stand the fact that she's away and she's doing, she's dating another man and, she's having fun. But sometimes it's really sincere. And so
Mm,
Yeah.
I can't, who am I to say when it's sincere and then when it's him just trying to be, a typical man and just have his cake and eat it too.
right.
Sometimes, again, sometimes it's sincere because, like I said, we could wake up, like Marvin Jr. of the Dale said. He said, but early this morning, when I opened up my eyes, that old lonesome feeling took me by surprise. I guess you meant more than I realized. And then that's when he go on the hook and he talks about the love we had stays on my mind. So what
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Jr. was saying was, I had the best woman in the world and I lost her because I
Mhm.
messed it up. So sometimes men, we can have that epiphany. Oh Lord,
Epiphany.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. We
Epiphany.
can have that vision to say, "Damn, boy, you had the best woman. She was wife material. She was everything you were looking for, and you let it go." And then sometimes we'll just say, "Pursue, pursue, pursue at all costs."
When that epiphany comes along
Yeah,
and that woman has already moved on
yeah,
and has already changed, her liking towards
yeah.
that individual, it's too late. So if it's
Too
too
late.
late
Yeah,
and they realize that, hey, listen,
yeah,
I liked you then, I was willing to put all my eggs in that one basket, but I no longer want to be part of this union. Why
yeah,
can't they also pick up and move forward and just say, okay, you know what, she's right. I came late. I no longer could change her mind. You know what I mean? She had already made up her mind. Why can't they pick up and go? Why at that point they become more aggressive?
yeah.
And now it leads to actually worse things, domestic violence,
That's true.
um, hurting, harming children, God forbid, killing the individual,
Yeah,
not being
Yes.
able to, accept the fact that yes, they did damage. And now when the person is trying to do damage control,
yeah.
it no longer suit their needs. So why can't they pick up and move?
That's a great question. Again, I can't speak for all men,
Of course.
but what I can say is I honestly I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been that man who the woman finally got tired of my garbage and foolishness, and she left, and I just couldn't stand the fact that she was with another man, especially when I saw her the first time. I mean, when I would hear stories about, hey man, your ex such and such, she's dating, this guy, that guy, whatever. I was like, okay, let her do her. But when I saw her with these two, and they arm in arm, man, we can't handle that when we actually see it. But anyway,
Yeah.
I've been on that side, and I've been on the side where, again, the lady I was dating got tired of my BS or whatnot, and she left, and it finally hit me that, boy, you messed up. That was a good woman. She was perfect for you. And then I pursued her, pursued her, pursued her, pursued her, and she didn't want anything to do with me, or they didn't want anything to do with me because that happened to me several times. Again, I really can't put my finger on it, and answer it clearly because once again, I can't speak for all men, but what I can say is that it's gonna fall under one of those two. And it's
Right.
really, really, I don't think you ladies would really understand. I'm trying to, it's like my sister one time was trying to tell me what it was like when she gave birth to her son, and being a woman, and she was telling me the pain and the agony that she went through, and I'm just looking at her like, well, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I think it's kind of
Yeah.
like that. You may be hearing what I'm saying, but you really can't. You maybe really can't relate to it because again, different genders. But for a man, that is tremendously hard for us to let go. Uh, uh, maybe you ladies don't realize this. A man, our masculinity, our egos are very fragile.
Mm.
Very fragile. Our egos, see, we can be 6'5", 265 pounds solid. I mean, we look like the Incredible Hulk. But see, that ego is just like a thin piece of glass that
Right.
can easily be fractured. And
Wow.
so, men, when women decide to move on, that fractures our ego. When we pursue women that we once had, that fractures our ego. And see, a lot of times when our ego is fractured, what we try and do is we try and put it back together. And one of those things that we do to try and put it back together is go pursue, go try it again. And sometimes it's that dominant instinct that comes into play to tell that other male, look, man, I'm still daddy. I'm still Big Papa. You just on the scene, but you just don't know the history that me and her got. Man, look, I'm still Big Daddy. I'm still a top dog, and I'm gonna show you I'm the top dog. I'm gonna get my baby. I'm gonna get my ex back. So it's just so many factors, ladies, and I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah.
But I really think it would be hard for you to kind of relate to what I'm. Another man I know exactly what I'm saying, but you being the ladies and the testosterone with us and the what is that estrogen with females, I think it's just uh, it's just a different landscape. But uh,
No, it's
go ahead.
definitely
I'm sorry.
understandable. And thank
Yeah,
you for, sharing it like that. And
yeah,
I can, though I might not be able to relate in
yeah,
the testosterone area
yeah,
of
yeah,
it, but I do understand that, a man's ego is number one, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they really want the ego to be validated. They want to make sure that if they're pursuing whoever it is, they still feel like, yes, I'm the man. We got to stroke that ego. We got to make sure that they feel like, yes, she's my girl. I got her under my arm. She's wrapped up, around my finger, so on and so forth. And then if you end up challenging that, that's when they are bruised. And when they become bruised, easily broken, then there becomes issues. And then sometimes they even want to go and get their ego validated outside of that union or relationship or partnership, which ends up being with some other female who probably they don't even really like. But like you said, because they are focused on their bottom parts and the other things, and that logic is out of the window, they easily don't even realize the gift that they have in front of them, which is the woman who they can create and procreate and build with. I get you. I definitely understand.
that's an excellent point. You broke that down perfectly. And when you were breaking that down, the first person that popped in my mind was Kanye West.
Oh,
Kanye West is Kanye West is the perfect example of what you just explained. When you look at his wife decided to go in another direction, she chose another man. Uh, what did Kanye do? Start getting a truckload of flowers and all that stuff, pursuing. And then, like you said, he went and got another woman. And as soon as I found out he did that, I said, at max, it's going to last 2 weeks. I said, at max, it was going to last 2 weeks. I don't think it lasted 2 weeks. I can't remember the lady's name who he started, a brief courtship with or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But I knew, I said 2 weeks because I knew that's what men do. And is it Letitia?
Yes, Leticia.
Leticia, I'm sorry. You
No, you're
just
fine.
explained it perfectly. And that's what we'll do sometimes in order to try and fill that void to make us feel that, hey, man, you still a man. Go out there and get someone else. And what's going to happen is you just going to use that other lady up for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, no more than a month and a half. And then eventually you're going to realize that's just a bunch of cheap thrills because your
Yeah,
heart is still with the other person.
right.
exactly.
I get that, but y'all don't have like a conscience. Like, come on, like seriously, like let's be real. I get it, but
Yeah.
don't y'all have something in your mind, especially for the men who have children?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Don't
Yes.
you have something in your mind and say, "Dang, I don't want no one to ever do this to my kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe I should put out good karma in the world so
Amen.
come
Wow.
to me and my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like I get it. I get it. We all have vices.
Yeah.
We all have things where if we see that joint that coming, if it come in our face, we taking it.
Hmm.
That's where we go. And that's it. I get it.
Yeah.
But at some point, we have to realize something's holding us back.
True.
And if we can't pinpoint what's holding us back, well, we ain't never moving forward.
That is true.
Wow.
That's so true. It becomes a cycle. It becomes like a broken record. You just keep playing the same game over and over and over and over and over again. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Years.
when do you get out of it?
Yeah.
Seriously, when do you get out of it? Why would what and again, this is not to man bash anything or anyone, really.
Of course. Of
This
course.
is really to say, at some point in life, if you want to move forward,
Hmm.
and regardless if you are okay with either being a player, just admit to yourself that that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then if you want to say, okay, I'm going to give myself to I'm 30 or 20 or 40 or 50 or 60, because for men, they have time for that. But for women,
Yeah.
after a while, it's like, I can't no longer have children if I am 65. You know what I mean? Not
True.
that it's not possible. It probably is. I mean, under God, anything is possible.
True.
But what I'm trying to say is, mindfully, you don't want to put yourself in a situation with a man who is never ready, and you're just playing the same cycle and
Yeah.
then expecting for a change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What one of the um things that people always say is the definition of inside and insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different changes or different results. You
Yeah.
can't, you know what I mean? You can't keep drinking poison water and hoping that you're not gonna die. It's like, yo, you're literally gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, you're killing your organs, you're killing your cells, you're doing something to your body. So I'm saying that to say, we all, like, I think women and men, yes, we do have differences, but we all are capable of being, um, you know, um, people who can do bad, right? We all are capable of doing that. We all are capable of saying, I no longer want to be single, or maybe I just want to be single,
Yeah.
or I want to be a player for the next 2 summers. You know what I mean? And then for the next 3 winters, I want to be in a relationship. I want to be cuddled. You know what I mean? So we all do have that mindset, right? But I just wish that we are honest enough and sincere enough with ourselves so we can be sincere to others. So what, and I don't want you to answer for the the masses of men, because I know you are just one man in billions of men.
Yes.
But I just want to know, why can a man have that mindset from the get-go to say, you know what, I just want to be a player. I really don't want to be in a relationship. I like the fact that I get up in the morning and it's a different girl in my bed. I like the fact that I get up in the morning and I'm calling different girls. And there are women like that. There are women who loves that. I promise you, ladies and men, there are women who are okay with that type of, union. Like, they're dealing with multiples. They're okay. But why can they be interested in that and then let the ones who want to build and create be on their own and find the right mate? You know what I mean?
Of course. Of course. Of course. All right. If you don't mind, but before I answer that, I just wanted to just give some context on what you talked about earlier in cycles.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad you brought that word up, because as a man, that's something that I have been dealing with as well, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to start doing my podcast. So, for example, my paternal grandfather came out of a small town called Vicksburg, Mississippi. He had 24 children. All right.
Oh, wow.
His daddy, his son, which is my daddy, Johnny Collins, also Vicksburg, Mississippi. He had 16 children. So me myself, 0 children, but the only difference is contraceptives. That's the only difference. So if there were no contraceptives, I would be in the same situation somewhere
Right.
in that area, 60. And the crazy part about it is I didn't spend much time with my father. Left him when I was 4 years old, reconnected with him later on in life, just to bury old bones and forgive him for some of the things that he neglected with our family. But that's what I want to mean by cycles. It's amazing how you touched on cycles, and that's the same thing that I've been dealing with lately. And that's why I pretty much have bagged out of the dating scene myself for a moment, because I realized, as the good book says, the sick need a physician. The
Mm,
sick need a hospital. So I basically checked myself into the hospital. And
mm,
so, because I know right now I'm no good for anyone. But to,
Mm.
to answer your question, this is just me. When a man meets a woman and he is so attracted to that woman, I mean, just so attracted, and we're looking at you, and we're looking at your lips and your eyes and your walk and your demeanor and your feminism. All those things are just oozing out, and all those things we just absorbing like a sponge. See, it's very hard for us to reveal our true colors and say, well, I just want a relationship with such as friends with benefits. See, it's very hard for us to say that, because you may be the type of lady who does not want that relationship, but our hearts are so hell bent on getting you in that bed, we don't want to risk that. See, we don't want to risk you. We don't want to risk telling you the truth, and you walk away. Now, if we had a crystal ball, or we had some type of way of knowing exactly what you were looking for, and for example, the woman was looking for friends with benefits only, no strings attached. Okay, we'll put it out on the line. But a lot of times, again, we're so driven by sex that we don't even want to risk telling you our true intentions, because there's a chance you might say, man, that ain't me. I'm gone. Deuces. Good luck in your search. So we'll say, I'm not going to let her lose her. I'm not going to reveal her hand and say, I'm a player. I'm a dog. I'm a F boy. Or, no, we're just going to be a good boy. We're going to turn into Denzel Washington, or Brad Pitt, or Will Smith. We're going to be an actor. You want to go to church? We're going to church with you. You like to go to the opera? We're going to the opera with you. You like you're a cultural type lady. You like the arts or whatnot. Let's go to the art museum. So we're gonna do all those things that you like to do. And sometimes women say, "Ooh, I got a good man. He likes the art. He's cultured. He likes jazz. He likes everything that I like." But a lot of times it's us just adapting to what you like just to get what we want. And you're right. Men should be honest with women and state our true motives, but a lot of times it's just that drive to have sex, because men, we're very very attracted to women, and we just don't want to risk you walking out, because if we put our true motives on the line, if you don't match up with that, you're gonna walk. So we're like, I don't want to take that chance. You walking, I'll just conform to what I feel you want me to conform to. Get sex, get money, get your time, get your attention, whatever it is. Use your car, whatever. Help build my credit back up. I mean, whatever it could be.
But
So,
okay,
hopefully,
okay,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I understand that,
Yeah,
but it's like, because it sounds like, like an opportunist. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, after you got the girl,
yeah.
why you gotta dog her out? Like, why after you've gone through the honeymoon phase and everything's calmed down,
Mm,
why you have to all of a sudden switch,
yeah.
and it's okay to be disrespectful? You know what I mean? Or it's okay to, do whatever you want to do and just
Mm,
not be upfront. At least be upfront. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Of
I
course.
mean, I feel like if you guys have been talking for a certain period of time, you guys owe that to each other. You know what I mean? To at least be upfront, especially if it's been going on for a while. You know what I mean? If things aren't going, I mean, I understand, okay, yes, territory, whatever, but does it really have to take a turn for the worse? I mean, I feel like, dang, that means like, shoot, we all need therapists, especially the men, because if it's gonna be like this every single time, like I don't feel like a man should ever disrespect a woman in a way where she feels like
Yeah.
hurt or she feels scared. And I don't believe a woman should ever disrespect a man. I believe it go both ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't understand why it ever has to take a turn for where a man could ever feel he could call a woman a bee
Yeah. Yeah.
or ever feel like he could put his hands on a woman. I know sometimes that could be also what they see from up, childhood.
Mhm.
But I mean, like it's like what makes things click? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
what would make you switch to be that someone where it's like, shoot, I would never speak to you.
Wow.
Like if I had met you, if I knew this was you when I first met you, I would have never spoken to you.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Let me just preface what I was about to say by making this comment. See those type of men. All right, those type of men. You're going to see. I have well. There's something that I call BS and then AS. BS stands for before sex, and then AS stands for after sex. See, those type of men, you're going to be angels before sex. After sex, those true colors are going to come out. Come out. Now, let me just say this, ladies. I know, some of the things we've been talking about. It may seem like it's all doom and gloom. I promise you, it really isn't. What do I mean by that? I mean that, ladies, you still, no matter what has happened in your past, no matter how bad some men may have treated you, you still can meet Mr. Right. It's just you have to have the proper vetting process in place. Now, what I mean by proper vetting process, I use the word training myself. You know, I say train him. Uh, what do I mean by that? See, if you got the right process in place, for example, if I was a woman, if I were a woman, let me tell you how I would train a man. Okay. First of all, I would know exactly, I would be a step ahead of him. And it's
mm-hmm.
obvious, I'm one step ahead because I'm a man. But anyway, I would listen to men like myself or other men, maybe read Steve Harvey books or things of that nature. But for example, if a man comes up in my face, already, if I'm a woman, knowing what I know today, if I were a woman, knowing how men operate, okay, if a man approached me, okay, and he's up in my face, let's say I'm attracted to him. Nothing wrong with being attracted to that man. Absolutely nothing wrong. Because that may be the man that you don't mind approaching you. That's cool. Let's say you got him, the man who you wanted to approach you. Let's say he approached you. See, my if I were a woman, the first thing is gonna pop in my mind, I'm gonna make that sucker compete for me. You're gonna compete for me. Why? Why are you gonna compete for me? Because I know even the good men still have, like I said earlier, that natural instinct to dominate, that natural instinct to have sex, and it's gonna be high. But as a man, I know how to bring it down because I met women who brought it down. How did they bring it down? They tapped into my competitive mode, made me compete. All right, so let me just give you some examples. How can you make a man compete for you? Once again, this is the man that you really wanted to approach you. Okay, he checks the boxes. He approaches you. Okay, sooner or later, you're gonna ask for your phone number. I would tell him maybe. He asked for your phone number. Okay, I'm interested in the man. I ain't gonna show him nothing. I'm gonna have my poker face on. I'm not gonna be smiling, maybe a small smile just to let him know I'm slightly interested. I'm not gonna show all 32 of my teeth. He asked for my phone number. I'm gonna say maybe. Why would I say maybe? Because maybe men understand. I got 50% chance, maybe she'll give me the number. 50% chance she may not, she will give me the number. So we know it could go either way. See, maybe forces him to come into compete mode because he got to do something. He got to do something. So men, we so competitive, even though there's a 50% chance in our mind that you won't give us the phone number, we don't even focus on that. We don't even focus on we may not get your number. We focus on what we got to do to get it. Now we in competition mode. Now the dominant instinct to have sex and the natural instinct to have sex and the natural instinct to dominate, it went from right here, it dropped to the floor. We're not even thinking about sex now. We're not even thinking about dominating you now. We're thinking about putting our best foot forward to do what you said. You got. It's up to you. Right. So that one word maybe can put a man on ice, or you really put them on roller skates, because now we off balance. But now you tapped into our competitives. See, if you notice, ladies, men will pursue you the hardest when we in compete mode. Man, that's when we go, oh my goodness, we gonna pursue you. We'll sleep on your front porch. Okay. But anyway, I would say maybe, because once again, I'm gonna make you compete, because competing puts you up here, and also competing raises you up compared to the other ladies he's dealing with. So when a man has numbers in that cell phone, he already know I got them already. But when you say maybe, we focus on you. It's just like a dog. You may have watched a movie where a prisoner escaped from prison, and he went to the woods, and they call out the dog, and they say, "Here, Homer, and they take a piece of that prisoner's clothing, and they let Homer smell it, and Homer smell it. Oh, and Homer point. See, when you tell him maybe, you know what he did. Oh, see, now his attention is on you, because now he wants to compete. Second thing, okay, he's going to try. Okay, let me get the number. I would let him beg. This is just me. If I were a woman, I'd let that sucker beg till his tongue about to turn blue. And I'd say, you know what? You're so persistent. I like your persistence. I like to see that in a man. I'm not going to give you my number. I'm going to give you an email address. That's how I play it. See, I would compliment him on his persistence. Why? Because that keeps his competitive level high. So anytime our competitive level is high, that natural instinct to dominate and have sex is low. So compete high. Anytime we're in compete mode, we ain't thinking about sex and we ain't thinking about dominating. We're thinking about you.
Wow.
That analogy that I just talked about, we got a sniff, and now we, just like Homer, that dog is focused on that prisoner. See, that dog ain't focused on the rest of those prisoners who's still in that jail. He got the scent of that one particular prisoner, and he going in the woods, he gonna find him.
Wow. That's amazing.
So I would say, once again, I love your persistence. I like that. But I'm going to give you an email address. He going to compete even harder.
Thank you.
That's why I tell ladies, in my estimation, in my opinion, the battle in relationships is won in the initial stages. That's just me talking.
Got it. Thank you. We definitely can bring you back on, because you are dropping so much gems, you know what I mean, and knowledge, and we love someone who has experience and who can bring it on to our show. And this is not just for views. This is also to assist and help and aid whomever is in need, you know. So we thank you so much for coming on. We thank you so much for sharing with us. Please feel free to reach out to us again in the future. But with that being said, thank you so much to everyone who definitely are a subscriber to 1,000,001 Stories. Thank you to my co-host, Stacy, Sierra. Thank you again. Please tune into Elderly Advice at 100 to watch Koye Amos because he is great on his show. He definitely give advice to, all type, advice. Actually,
Yeah.
he do give advice to men as well, young
Yeah,
men, on
yeah.
how to, be a good young man and how to grow. So that's fantastic. So please tune on to his show. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning to A Million and One Story.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, day, evening, wherever or whenever you watch this show. We appreciate you as always. Thanks again and have a blessed and wonderful day.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.